3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? This is the Undefeated by Choice podcast brought to you by SteelFist. We're here once again. I'm going to blast you guys this week with a bunch of episodes, and today is a special episode. Like I said earlier on the very first podcast, we got a lot of the young fighters, the new up-and-comers in Utah on the podcast, and today is the opponent of one of the men I already interviewed. Today we have Mr. Austin Atkinson. How's it going, brother?
Going good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for taking the time out on your Saturday evening. I know you'd rather be doing a bunch of other things than doing my podcast, but I appreciate you taking the time out and coming on the show.
Yeah, no problem.
So what do we have to do, you and I, what do we have to do with Tapology in the Underground to get your record corrected on there?
Probably have to talk with my coach, and he'd probably point me in the right direction.
Okay. Yeah, man, we got to get it right in there. It shows that you're only 1-0, but my man is 2-0. He had a rear naked choke his first time out, and the second time he won in decision. Was it a unanimous decision?
Yeah, it was unanimous. All
right, that's what I like to hear. So you've been at this game for not too long. When was your first fight? What year?
It was actually this year.
Oh, really? So this will be your third fight in 2019?
Yeah, it'll be my third fight in a little over 3 months, actually.
Oh, wow, that's impressive, man. You're jumping right into it.
Oh yeah.
So how did you get into fighting? How did this all come about?
So I got into wrestling when I was in 8th grade, and then one day me and my brother were wrestling around out on the trampoline, and then he put me in a triangle choke, and I was wondering what the heck that was, and I asked him to teach me, and it's been hooked ever since.
Really? That was it, huh?
Yeah.
My trampoline wrestling experiences was all WWE style. I was power bombing all the neighbor kids, choke slam, tombstones. We weren't doing triangles. We weren't doing any submissions. It was all WWE, grabbing chairs, all that fun stuff. So that's probably a good thing for my health and my body that I didn't go that route. So your brother teaches you a triangle. You get kind of hooked after that. What gym did you walk into, and how was jiu-jitsu your very first discipline you started learning? I mean, other than wrestling, but in mixed martial arts, was jiu-jitsu the first, or did you just jump right into all of it altogether?
So I wrestled in Duchesne, and then I graduated, and then I hopped into one of my buddies' gym. His name's Kyle Jackson. I'm not sure who he is, but he had a little gym there in our little hometown, and just walked in and started doing it all from there.
And that was in Duchesne? Is that where you're at now? Yeah. What camp are you at now?
I'm out of Empire MMA in Cedar City. Okay,
so you got some good fighters out there. You guys got a good little stable. Is that the only gym out there? Because it seems like we pull most of our fighters from that area come out of that camp. Is that the only camp out there in Cedar City?
I believe there's another little camp somewhere here in Cedar, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure on all the details, but I like Empire.
So have you ever been to a bigger camp or a bigger gym, or have you always been at these smaller gyms?
I've only been in the smaller gyms for right now.
Yeah, there's pluses and minuses, I guess, to that. I'm pretty sure since you are probably the only the fighter that's got the fight closest to the next fight coming up in your camp, you probably got all the attention from everybody right now. Is that correct?
Yep.
How's that feel?
Oh, it feels nice.
Tiring?
Yeah.
All the Shark Tanking?
Yeah, we had a Shark Tank last night to wrap up all the hard training.
Yeah, so was last night your last night of hard training?
Yeah, now it's just going to be getting my weight down and maintaining my cardio.
Nice. And you are fighting at 145 this time?
140.
140. Okay. So are you planning on going down to 135? Because I know talking to Justin, that's his plan. He says he walks around naturally at 135, or he fights a lot better at 135. Is that your plan as well, is to go down to 135?
That's why we're fighting at 140, because my last fight was at 135.
Oh, okay. And it was like,
it was at 45.
And it was like what,
then,
2 weeks ago?
Yeah. No, it was a month ago on the 21st.
Okay. All right. There's a few fighters on the SteelFist roster that you might catch up to if you keep at this pace.
Yeah, I'm planning on going that route.
There's Kerry Latimer, who I think wants more fights than anybody in the history of the planet. You got Scott Devlin, who seems like he's fighting on every card. So I mean, you got some good footsteps to follow, my friend.
Well, that makes me happy to hear.
So, again, you're at Empire. Who would you say? I mean, okay, so who are your coaches down there? Let's talk about them. And who's coaching you in what? And then who are your main training partners you got out there working with you?
So, my main coach is Steve Ergel, and he trains us in our Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. And then we have another jiu-jitsu instructor. His name's Kevin. Goes by Mambo, and really cool dude. He knows what he's doing. And another coach that I really like training with is Heather. She's really good at making us maintain cardio and making sure we're on point in that aspect. And she teaches some Muay Thai as well. And then another coach I've been really training with a lot lately is Ryan, and I'm not sure what his last name is, but he's 4-1 as an amateur.
Okay.
And he's really well-rounded, and I like his striking that he teaches. So.
And most of those coaches that you named are still actual fighters, so they just transition into your training partners as well?
Sorry, what was that?
I said most of those coaches that you named that have been working with you are actually still current fighters. So do they translate into your training partners as well?
Oh yeah, all of them that coach we all spar with and roll with, and so it's a lot of fun. But yeah, one of my favorite training partners that I get to train with is Talon Torres.
Okay.
Yeah, I love just standing and striking with him. I learned so much from him.
Yeah, he's a pretty well-known name around here. A good fighter. I think he's a good one to test your skills against. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
So besides fighting every other weekend, what else are you guys? I mean, what else are you doing for your cardio? What's your main source of cardio out there? I always get interested because I get so frustrated with fighters who don't have cardio, and especially as a wrestler, you guys are known for cardio. So what are you doing working out there? What are you doing to keep your cardio up during the entire fight?
So I like to go to the gym at 5 a.m. every morning.
You like to do that?
Yeah. I've been excited for this fight, so okay. I'm about 5 minutes before my alarm's going off.
Oh, good for you, man. Good for you. So you're at the gym. Are you just running on the treadmill? Or is there anything else you're doing?
I start off on the treadmill, and I'll hike it up to 15% incline, and then I'll be going at a pretty good pace. I'll hold on to the rails for 30 seconds, and I'll let go for 30 seconds. That way I'm getting my heart rate back down, but it's still moving. Yeah. And it's really intense for 10 minutes. My legs are burning. The last minute, I just got it out. And then from there, I just like to go over and jump on the boxes and really drain myself after that. So.
You wrestlers, you guys are crazy. You guys are insane. The best cardio in the business comes from wrestlers. I don't know where you guys get. I mean, I consider myself good at cardio, but I don't have the wrestling cardio. That constant grind. So So your first fight wasn't too long ago. What do you remember about your first fight? I've been asking, because we have such a young card coming up and we have so many young fighters on the card. I've been asking some of the older fighters. I asked Lehigh Dominguez yesterday what he remembered about his first fight, and of course he was like, the tunnel vision. It was just a brawl, but of course he remembers every single thing about that first fight. You being so fresh, I'm hoping you remember everything about it. But what was it like? What was going through your head? What were your emotions? What was it like that first time you stepped into the octagon?
So,
I'm losing you on audio a little bit.
okay. You hear me now?
No, for some reason you went real quiet. Did you change your... Go ahead and talk into it again. No, did you switch over to speaker or something? I don't know. Go ahead again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
All right, cool.
Okay, so again, your first time stepping in the octagon, what was it like?
It was really fun. I just remember showing up, and we were warming up in batting cages. It was outside.
Oh my goodness.
So we were in batting cages, and it was really crowded. They had red corner on one side, blue corner on the other, just with the tarp separating us. And
I love it.
I was just laying down on the mat, just relaxing, and you tell everyone else was pretty nervous, but I felt pretty calm for the most part. I was more nervous for the weigh-ins.
Oh, really?
Honestly, yeah. And then I just remember being fourth and watching the third fight, warming up, and once it ended, I knew it was game time.
Yeah, that's another wrestler thing. So many wrestlers come into this for the first time and they're like, yeah, this ain't no thing. I've done this a million times before. And then you have everyone else, all the other disciplines, and they're losing their mind for the first time they're stepping into the octagon. It's pretty interesting to see the mentality of wrestlers. It's completely different than any other discipline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just used to being in front of crowds and going out and competing.
Yep.
Twice, 2 times a week. And
yeah, you didn't really have time to be nervous in wrestling normally, because weren't weigh-ins the same day as the fights, and then you usually had 3 or 4 fights a night?
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy. That's craziness.
Could barely eat anything because you didn't want to be sick.
Yep. So now... it's a little different. You got one fight. You got one fight on November 22nd against Justin Carter. You said you've been excited about this fight. Is there anything in particular about this fight that's getting you excited, or is it just you get this way? You've gotten this way for every matchup.
I like to test myself, and he's 3-0, and I know that he has a ground game, so my other 2 opponents didn't really have the best ground game, so I'm excited to get in there and show what I can do against more worthy opponent.
So I don't want you to give away the game plan or anything, but I mean he was pretty adamant on his episode of the podcast that he's going to go in there and he's going to shoot a double leg and this thing's going to go to the ground. I mean, is that he did say he wants to test some stand up first. Is that the same game plan for you, or do you feel like you're going into this with a different type of game plan?
My game plan is basically take whatever's given to me. I got free reign this fight to basically stand and strike. My other game plans for my other fights was to get it to the ground, so
okay.
I didn't even care to stand in exchange.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna stand and bang, and if I see the shot open, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
Basically whatever he gives me, but he's not having his way with me on the ground. He ain't taking me down to the ground, and he's not gonna mount me and pound me out in the 3rd round.
See, that's
not gonna happen.
This is what I love. First of all, we've seen this type of matchup so many times where you have 2 good wrestlers, and then it ends up just being a banger, just 2 people, and then as the fans, we all benefit from that, getting to see shots defended, and then we just get to see a full out boxing match brawl. And And so, I think anyway the fans are going to win watching this fight. But I also love hearing you say, he's not going to get his way with you. I think Justin's one of those polarizing characters. I mean, he's come out of the woodwork. He was begging me to do the podcast, and then I saw he did another interview, and he's been pretty vocal about what he wants to do during this matchup. And I've seen a lot of your team coming up saying you're going to have your hands full with Austin, and he keeps saying I'm not overlooking Austin, but he's talked about title defenses after this. Is that on your mind after this fight? Do you think that taking him out at 3-0 and then now making you 3-0, that's going to put you in line for a title, for an amateur title? I believe 135 is Augustine Valdez and the 145 is Julian Ruiz. Is that on your mind, or what are you thinking right now?
What I'm thinking, Justin Carter's on the 22nd, and that's where my focus is at.
That's what I like to hear.
If everything goes according to plan, we'll see what comes up next. I'm not really too big on, give me a title shot. I just want to fight quality opponents and grow as an amateur. So,
well, the rate your
title shot gets thrown my way, I'll be more than glad to accept it. But
the rate you're going, you could
focus on title. The
rate you're going, you could have 3 more fights and still fight for the title in 2 months. With how quickly and how often you're fighting, you could easily be fighting for that title by the end of the year and still have so many fights under your belt. What would you say you have been focusing the most on this camp? What has been your just your go-to thing in this camp that you've been wanting to just drill and drill and drill? If you can, if that doesn't give away too much of a game plan.
No, I've been focused a lot more on my stand-up and working some combos. But honestly, it's been pretty well balanced. But I would say I've been putting more focus into my stand-up on my own time and whatnot. So.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. So, I mean, I do this. I ask this question to everybody, and nobody ever answers it. Maybe 1 or 2 fighters have answered it directly, but I think so many fighters have just taken to this visualization, just picturing themselves winning the fight, picturing themselves with their hands raised, just kind of putting it out there, trying to manifest that stuff. Do you have any way in particular you see yourself winning this fight? Anywhere you see that you have, just such the advantage that, or you feel you have such the advantage that you feel like that's what's going to end the fight? And if so, do you have it in your mind what it's going to be?
I think I have the advantage in the ground game in jiu-jitsu. I have finished in my first fight, and I feel like my wrestling is going to be far more superior, and I feel like my jiu-jitsu is going to be superior as well. So I see it ended by submission on the ground. Okay,
all right. So you're one. Just so I'm going to have to write this down because you're one of the few to actually answer that question. Everyone else is like, I'll just see what happens. I like that. I mean, whatever, however you picture yourself to win. I mean, however you picture yourself doing it is, that's secondary to what's actually going to happen in the fight, because these fights can go anywhere. But I do, for me, every time, even in practice, I picture certain punches landing, and that's just kind of where I put my focus is where it is, because I feel like that's where I'm supposed to be or what I'm supposed to be doing. So I like that you answered that question. I appreciate you actually, taking the risk to actually call out your shots like Babe Ruth. But I appreciate that. So anybody who hasn't been to an Austin Atkinson fight before, what can they look forward to seeing? What do you do? What does Austin do that brings and puts butts in seats?
I go out there ready to put on a show, and I don't back down, and I put the pressure on, and I'm relentless. I don't give anyone a second to breathe. I'm always in your face, and it's just not a comfortable position to be in for the other guy.
Man, I can't tell you how excited I am for this fight. I mean, this fight in particular, and this card in particular, I'm so excited. We've got this stacked with absolute killers, people that are just, that say that, that have that same mentality of, we're here to put on a show, we're here to not back down, we're here to put on a good fight. And man, I am so excited for this fight. I can't wait. Do you have any, or before we go into that, is this your very first fight for SteelFist?
Yes, this is my first fight for SteelFist.
What have we done so far that you've liked that other organizations didn't do? What experience have you had with us that's been good? What have we done that you thought we could do better? Just let us know what we can be doing or how we're doing.
Honestly, I've liked SteelFist right out of the gate. I was definitely had you guys circled on my list for promotions to fight for. But the communication's been perfect. I've been let in the loop of what's going on, and got my posters and tickets mailed out to me fairly quick. And it's inside. My first two fights were outside. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that.
That's a benefit. That's different. You don't want to be fighting outside in November. No,
and in Montana it was a little chilly, and it was raining outside a little bit, so the canvas was pretty slick.
Yikes!
But they were nice enough to let it stop raining a little bit. So the canvas was still wet, but it wasn't pouring or nothing.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about that too much. There might be some blood on the canvas, but there's not going to be any water on the canvas. I can tell you that much.
I'd rather it be blood than water.
Yeah, exactly. So you mentioned the guy that tickets out to you on time, and one thing that I've been mentioning to a lot of people, and this isn't necessarily specific to this fight, but to all fighters. I've been trying to push and tell these fighters lately. I've been pulling a lot of fighters aside and telling them how important it is to sell tickets, and I've been trying to tell people how important it is to buy tickets from the actual fighter, because it helps them directly. Now, Austin's out there in Cedar City. If you're one of his friends listening right now and you haven't gotten tickets to his fight, you need to buy tickets to his fight. You need to go and support him and show up to his fight. Not only does it help the fighter to have people there to support him, family and friends, but also directly puts money into his pocket. It helps him out directly for you to buy tickets from him. So anybody who's listening to this, anybody who's a friend of Austin, anybody, even if you don't know him and you just like him and you like his style and you like what he's going to do, you need to get a hold of him, reach out to him, and buy tickets from him, because it's going to help him directly. And that's really how this whole thing works. That's how this whole thing gets around. Is with amateurs, they don't make money directly from the organization. They make money off of ticket sales and being salesmen. So make sure that you are buying tickets from Austin. Does that help you, man?
Yeah, I got 5 tickets left. So. Oh,
that's it? You got 5 left? Oh, you done good, man. You did good. You're gonna have a stadium full of people there chanting your name.
Well, Salt Lake's my hometown originally.
Oh, okay.
So I got a lot of family out that way. Got family in Camas. Got a bunch of friends out in that area. So.
Okay, all right. Well, if that's the case, then 5 people need to get a hold of Austin right now and buy up his last 5 tickets.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, my man. Hey, do you have anybody in particular you want to thank, or sponsors or anything like that you wanna give a shout out to before we close this up?
Yeah, I would like to give a huge thanks to all my coaches at Empire MMA, all my training partners. You guys have been phenomenal. I've had an amazing camp thanks to y'all. This wouldn't be possible without you guys' help. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Huge thanks to my wife. She watches 3 boys every night while I get off work and go train till 9 o'clock at night. So,
she's the real hero.
Yeah, I mean, this wouldn't be possible without her. So I really appreciate everything she does, and we're a team on this journey right now. And huge thanks to all my friends and family for all the support, and you guys have been amazing as well. I couldn't appreciate any of you guys more. You guys are awesome.
All right, is that it?
Yeah, I don't have any sponsors yet. So
perfect. Well, let's get some sponsors.
If you're looking to sponsor anyone, I'm looking for sponsorship.
That's what we're talking about. Let's get some sponsors for these fighters. Again, not only the ticket sales help, but sponsorships help as well. And that's the only way we're going to get this MMA game, to take off in Utah and to put us on the map. Is if we have fighters who can be full-time fighters, they're getting sponsorships, they're selling tickets, they're making enough money to support them and their families. So if you're a sponsor, you're looking to sponsor anybody, Austin's, he's 2-0. He's looking to make himself 3-0. He's going to fight regularly. He's going to be putting on a show. Wearing your brand on his shorts. So if you're looking to sponsor anybody, go ahead and get a hold of him or any fighter you want to get a hold of. Austin, man, I appreciate you taking time out, and I'll let you get back to those 3 little ones and that wife of yours. And good luck on the 22nd. And I'll see you at weigh-ins on Thursday, my friend.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate you having me on.
Of course, anytime, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right. You have a good night.
You too. Bye.
All right.
All right, I cut him off right before he said bye. I'm a big jerk. Hey, I've been talking about this card and how it's a lot of young fighters, and I'm so excited about it. I'm proud to be a part of this SteelFist organization, and I'm glad that they let me be a part of this matchmaking. I really wanted to put a focus on young fighters, and we got a lot of young fighters. And then the older fighters, I guess I'd say, none of them are really old, but the crop that's been around for a while, they're the bangers, man. They're the ones that you pay to come see anyway. So, this is a great card. You need to come on out November 22nd. No Fear November at the Union Event Center. Doors open at 6. Fights start at 7. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a fun show. It always is. There's no better way to spend a Friday night. It's family friendly. It's an all ages show, so the downstairs is perfect to bring the family along. Kids these days are all into martial arts. They're loving it. They're getting into it now. You might as well just let them go see what happens when you go do it live. And then those of you who enjoy adult time, you can head upstairs and you can have your drink and watch the fights. So it really does cater to everybody in all walks of life. And it's the best way to spend a Friday night. I love fight night. I get so excited for fight night every time. If you see me out there, I got a big smile on my face the whole time. If I don't have a smile on my face, it's just because I've got a resting bee face, I guess. I don't know what it is, but I'm happy. I love it. I love these fights. This is going to be a fun card. This is exciting. This fight alone, Justin and Austin, I'm so excited to watch these two young grinders just go at it, and I guarantee it's going to be a fun one. I guarantee it's going to be a fun fight. So get your tickets now. If he's got 5 left, you got to get a hold of him and get those 5 tickets. If you can't get them from him, find another fighter on the card, and you can which fighters are on the card. You'll be able to look them up at our Instagram at SteelFist Fight, or you can go to Facebook. You can find them on Facebook as SteelFist Fight Night. Go find a fighter, get tickets from them, buy tickets from them. It helps them out directly. Or if you can't do that, go to SteelFist Fight Night and get your tickets there. SteelFistFightNight.com and get your tickets there. Or you can just get them at the door. You can buy them at the door the night of the fight. But this is the show to come watch. I'm so excited for it, everybody. You can find this podcast on YouTube. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it on iHeartRadio under Undefeated by Choice. I already gave you all the handles for social media and SteelFist. That's all I got for you. I'm going to try to get 1 or maybe 2 more interviews in before this fight card starts up. But you're going to have this. You're going to see this when it comes out, so I'm not going to tell you what day it's coming out on. All right, everybody. I love you. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. I love you.